Why do you think sometimes they encourage labor inductions?
Peace. My name is Destiny Daniels. I'm located in Columbus, Ohio, and have been a doula for a little over 9 years. I'm gonna be honest. My personal opinion about inductions is that it is the more, especially here on TikTok, that I hear other OBs and nurses talk about inductions and why they encourage them and why they themselves choose to have inductions is it is coming from a place of fear, point blank, period. Because each and every one of them, well, I've seen a 41 weeker, I've seen someone pass 40 weeks, and I've seen a placenta give out, I've seen meconium aspiration. And yes, those things happen. Those things have been happening from the beginning of time, whether they delivered before 37, after 37, before, after 40 weeks. There was a time where 44 weeks was considered normal instead of 42. Not saying that we should go back to that time. I do understand science, the advancements, the more technology we have, the better we are able to prevent certain things. And yet I saw a OB on here the other day, and she was talking about how all of her OB friends and like L&D nurse friends, they all have chosen to have an induction at 39 weeks. She doesn't have any children. If she plans to have children, she will also choose to have an induction because of, it is point blank, period, the fear of what they have seen. And just in her mind and her opinion, based on her experience, that it's just a better thing to do to have an induction because you're able to better control the outcome. You're getting baby out before XYZ happens. However, I'm like, well, what about the years and years and years of midwifery care, and especially home birth midwifery care? Because home birth midwives are not seeing the same level of horrible outcomes or tragic outcomes as they are in hospital births. So I feel like there's a gap there, and I may not be able to articulate it right now, but there is a gap happening in the level of care received for a home birth client and a hospital birth client. And statistically, it shows that at least about 80%, especially of first-time parents, are of a lower risk and would make a great home birth candidate. But they're not treated that way. We're so focused on these inductions and the management of something that is technically, it is natural. And yes, there are horrible things that can happen, unfortunately. And I'm so grateful that we do have obstetricians, that we do have folks who can come in with medicines and procedures and stuff like that to prevent a poor outcome for mom or baby, the birthing person or baby. However, we cannot ignore the fact that midwifery does also have amazing benefits, has amazing outcomes. And then even, what was it, who that came out earlier this year stating that we need to incorporate midwifery care, including in the hospital. We need to lead with midwifery care when it comes to maternal health. So that's my 2 cents. I feel like I need to make a quick little disclaimer. I do not have any issues with OBGYNs, with L&D nurses. Like I stated before, you all are amazing and absolutely beneficial. I do understand the need for you all and the care that you provide. And I have worked with some amazing OBs and nurses during client deliveries and even C-sections. And so this is not any type of anti-hospital rhetoric. I just want to be clear on that. I want to bring in the fact that it is truly a difference between midwifery, the midwifery model of care, and the standard of care in the hospitals right now that is provided to birthing people. Also, I often wonder how many OBGYNs and nurses, especially L&D nurses, how many of you all have seen a normal physiological birth, meaning there was no management necessary. And I'm not talking about, oh, it was just precipitous and the baby came real fast. No, someone who is not hooked up to Pitocin, hooked up to, they didn't have to have magnesium. They didn't have to have anything to manage their labor. Chose not to have an epidural, and you saw the actual natural patterns of labor and that baby come out, and that full experience. I don't, not to my knowledge, many have seen that process. It's very, very few and far between. And I think if more of you all kind of could see that, you may have a different understanding, or at least be able to see the perspective of other birth workers and of even parents when it comes to this whole idea of wanting to have a low intervention birth and not to have an induction. Also, please remember, this is for OBs, midwives, nurses, doulas, anybody working with birthing clients, that at the end of the day, your client wants to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to feel like they are a part of the process. They don't want things to be done to them. They don't want to feel like their back is against the wall and they're only given a choice. It needs to be collaborative care, basically. They need to have a voice in what is happening. And if they choose an induction, great. I have plenty of clients who choose to have inductions, and I understand and I support them. I'm not going to tell them no. I'm not going to say, no, I'm not supporting you. I'm going to support them. I've had plenty of clients who's also have either had an elective C-section or needed a repeat, or something happened and it was a requirement to have a C-section. So I have no qualms against the need to step in, but I want you all of us, to really make sure that we're hearing our clients and what it is that they're wanting, and not to come from a place of fear when we are supporting our clients, whether, once again, you're an OB, you're a midwife, you're a nurse, and also doulas. I know doulas who work out of a place of fear because of something that they've seen. So we have to just be mindful of that when we are supporting our clients. And I think also just really educating our clients early on about what to expect during pregnancy, what to expect during labor, so they can truly make an informed decision, and not giving them information that's only going to just be enough to get folks to sway in the way that we want them to be, whether that is to have an induction or not to have an induction. They need all of the information so they can really make an informed decision. Okay, this went much longer than expected.